Welcome to today's webinar, How to Talk to Tabular Data, a chatbot case study with Raiffeisen Tech and RBI Group. And before I hand it over to our host, Wojciech Nowak, I'd like to let you know that the session is being recorded and you will receive the recording via the email address you used during registration. And it will also be published on the Raiffeisen Tech blog. Next, the Q&A session will take place at the end of the webinar after the presentation. And before we finish the whole event, I will share a short feedback survey with you. And I'm also happy to share that Sages is a technical partner of the Meet Raiff event series, and today is the 7th edition of this event. And I have one more, I think it's great information because today we've planned a short contest with prizes, two questions from the presentation and one prize for the best question from Q&A session. So I hope that you will ask the presenter a lot of questions, and I hope that you will stay with us until the end. Wojciech, I think it's over to you, and good luck.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So I'm taking over, and let me share the screen now. Okay, right now you should see the background, and now, so, oops, not this, sorry. This is the presentation I'd like to share. So, I hope you can see the screen. If anyone could confirm, I don't have access to the chat right now, so ideally using voice.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So, as it was told, my name is Wojciech Nowak. I work at Raiffeisen Tech as a GenAI Tech Lead. And today I'd like to tell you a bit more about one of the use cases we have built, but also very briefly about the company. Regarding the use case, this is the chatbot, and this is from the technical perspective, but not only, also from the business perspective, it has the biggest potential from all of our use cases. And this meeting is a part of the series of meetings called Meet Raiff, which is a series which is organized by Raiffeisen Tech together with Sages to share the technical knowledge and the way that impacts the business. So let me start with the general question. So the question is why I'm here, or why you should be interested, particularly in this presentation, about, let's say, in more generic level. So you see, the big wave is coming, and this wave is called AI. And the AI, as some of us already feel, will change the way we actually live. It's hard to imagine the scale of this change. However, the picture which you can see on the presentation is something like good example that can help us to visualize the impact of AI on our lives. So you see on the left hand side, on the left image, what you can see is a New York City 1900 year, Fifth Avenue in Easter morning. And on this image, you can see just the hackneys pulled by the horses. And if you zoom in and look very carefully, what you will notice is one car. On the other hand, on the right-hand side, there is a very same place, New York City, Fifth Avenue, Easter morning, but 13 years later. And as you can see on the photo are only the cars. There is barely one horse in the background which pulls the hackney. So I can bet with you that from 13 years from now, maybe even less, because this revolution already started and it lasts, our life, the way we live, the way we book, I don't know, slots in restaurants, your hair salon, in banks, and so on, the way we work also, the way we do shopping will change a lot. So you see, the company I work for, Raiffeisen Bank International and Raiffeisen Tech, see this change and see this wave, and we would like to use it to increase the productivity, but also bring a lot of benefits to our clients. And what happens in the RBI Group right now is the AI transformation. It has two pillars. The first is AI Center of Excellence, and the second is AI Pioneer Program. Today we will focus on the result of one of those pillars. The first one, the Center of Excellence, where the goal here is to build the tools that will help the bank to work more efficiently, and also meet the growing demands of customers with actually better. So my team is engaged in this AI Center of Excellence, and what we are doing, we were given a year ago responsibility to do a few things. The first thing was to build so-called data products. These are packaged, ready to use, and relatively easy to understand, well described data, which can increase the agility of advanced analytics. The second use case is that this is actually the series of use case. This is the visit preparation, when based on different data, we build the reports to help the relationship managers who work with the clients prepare for the meetings with them. And finally, the most interesting use case is the Ask Your Data chatbot. This is the chatbot which aims to provide 300-degree insight into data. What's important here, that it doesn't matter what kind of data. From a technical perspective, we can apply it to any data. In this case, we applied them to Copernicus and to CRM and sales related data. So the goal is to build an AI sales assistant, which would act as a junior colleague for the relationship managers, which would help them with some cumbersome work, and which would provide the 300-degree view into sales-related data. Here are a few expectations which business declared to us. So we want the chatbot to be able to analyze sales activity, to increase offering performance, and also identify areas where we can cross-sell. And this is quite of a challenge. So we had to start from scratch, and to meet those demands, we had to build a POC. Again, to build the POC, we had to do some research, and we did this research. And based on the findings, we built an MVP. While starting building MVP, we had some goals, and we assume some boundaries and some principles that we would like to follow in order to success with this use case. So the first thing, we want to test core concept of the feasibility, because at the time when we were starting, most of use cases were simple static rack pipelines. Here, the challenge was, I would say, much bigger, because what we had to operate not over text data, but over tabular data, which is which was and still is a big difference. We also wanted to design and experiment with different prompts and query performance to be able to provide as good results as possible, at least for this limited scope of questions that we started with. And finally, we wanted to explore agentic systems and agentic setup because this is the future. And as I will tell you in a moment, it also offers a bigger elasticity, it might offer bigger robustness, and it's much better to extend and build complex system with those agentic setups. Few design principles, because we knew that the chatbot would grow with time. That was the goal, to integrate more and more features, more and more data system. So we let's say approach to this with a few design principles. The first was open and flexible architecture. So we wanted to easily swap and test different prompts, and by this we wanted to easily switch between the data sources to be able to experiment with different domains and scale the chatbot. That was the first of the design principles. Then we wanted the chatbot to be able to support multiple query engines, because at this time we didn't know which of the query engines would work best. And again, we wanted it to work in a plug and play to different databases. So we wanted it to operate in actually any tabular database that's available. And also we didn't close to new things. We wanted to explore, we wanted to learn, we wanted to test different things and check if by this we would be able to provide some value to the business. So on this image here, you can see the high-level architecture. So there is this agentic setup. We have an engine, we have some LLM model, query tool, and the storage system, which is essentially database. And also there is a user who is having some interaction with the chatbot. Now let me explain some of those concepts, because you see, there was, maybe even there is, a big rumor about AI agents and how they would revolutionize the current AI. Now it's rather MCP and other stuff, but believe me, a half year ago or year ago, it was big rumor, and everybody was talking about agents, but no one actually knew what agents are. So what is an agent? So agent is an entity that is able to plan out set of tasks based of course based on the message or some action that it needs to that is asked to be done. Then after planning, it's able to break down the complex question into smaller ones. It's able to choose external tool and provide proper parameter to it, and also it's able to remember the previous interactions. So in our case, it can orchestrate two queries to the database, join on the semantic layer the results, and also obviously execute prepare queries, execute them, and then join on the semantic layer and interpret the results. And obviously it's able to remember all of those stuff which have been done. But what does it mean in practice? So by planning, I mean is able to prepare set of things to be done. So for example, preparing the queries, interpreting the queries, executing the queries, and suggest next action maybe. Then, if the question is complex and requires detailed multiple actions or multiple reasoning, it's able to split the query. So first it asks about the regional sales, then about the top product, being asked about the sales by region and top product in each, and finally it's able to interpret the results. Given those sub questions, it's able to execute them individually and generate the SQL. And finally, the agent is able to recall the past output. So if we have some context, we can ask the agent to do some actions over some conversation that we already had with him. And here you can see the very base agentic flow. And this is the crucial image, the most important image to understand how does the agent works. Because you see, it has actually a few components. The first component is this reasoning loop, where thanks to its reasoning capability, agent or LLM model needs to decide whether it can actually generate response. If not, it uses some tool to get additional context, to check something. And this tool using is being done in this loop up until the agent is ready to respond. And finally, when it's ready, the response is generated. Obviously, to be able to do it, it has to remember those iterations in his memory. So again, it has to memorize each of these loop execution is separate task, separate plan. So again, the features or the characteristics of an agent are met here. And finally, the concept we used, this is the text to SQL, and how it actually works. First, there is a question or request in the natural language. Then, given that language and some metadata which describes the table, LLM is able to generate as SQL. And finally, based on those, finally this SQL is being executed. We are getting some results, and again the request together with the results are interpreted again, and by this agent is able, or the tool or the entity which uses the text to SQL is able to answer the question. And this is the end of tutorial. And having the basics covered, let me revisit the architecture and explain a bit its nature, because here is where the true power of the MVP reveals. Because through the proper, let's say, setup and architectural decisions, we are able to adjust different domains. So different data sources. We can use financial domains. We can use some security domains or some security data. Any data, while properly described, will give us, I would say, quite good results. Because again, data description, metadata, and context is important and crucial here. Also, that's why those data products which we used together with metadata helped us to have those knowledge about different domains. Then we can apply different models. So we are working with GPT-4, but through the proper abstraction, through using the framework that supports different large language models, we are able to actually integrate many of them and test the performance. We can also use different query tools. For example, one integrated with DuckDB, Spark, Panda, and many other. And also we support many storage systems. It could be on-premise, it could be file-based, it could be file with some metadata like data format, DuckDB again, and many more. Actually, DuckDB under the hood works with Parquet or CSV. So this is the tabular. This is the file format. A bit about performance now, because the results we got are, I would say, quite interesting. So for different, I would say, aggregation queries, that we got the 95% accuracy, which is the result that even surprised me. because for the set of, I believe, 40 different questions, it failed, or maybe not failed, but it didn't respond as we wish only twice. But what questions did we ask? So we asked different aggregation queries about the products, which about the products. For example, which product generated the highest profit overall. Then we ask also the ranking queries for some top earning product in specific year, quarter, or month, and also the matching queries combined with let's say the knowledge synthesis. So we ask the matching query. That means, for example, for selecting us the meeting with client X, all the meetings in given year, and then we ask which of these meetings had the biggest impact on the strategic development. And based on agenda or based on any, obviously depending on your data which are there, but in this case based on agenda and summary and some summary notes from the meeting, Chatbot is able to tell us a bit the analyze actually this and do some synthesis about those meetings. And since then, the time has passed. We have learned, iterated, kept building, and now we set the solid foundations for the scalings. So for now, we integrated the 3 data domains, which are profitability, meetings, and opportunities. We have the automated approach for evaluation, which is LLM as a judge. We introduced observability to understand how the users would interact with Chatbot to understand its bottlenecks, but also the hidden needs of users. We used and compared different versions of query engines, and we currently are on a dev environment and ready to productionize the Chatbot. So now it's time for demo. Give me a moment, please. Okay. So here is our chatbot. The front end is very simple, and as you can imagine, this will not be the final front end. The front end will be done with our colleagues from front end. So what we are doing, we are just preparing the back end. So here is the very simple front end, and simply speaking, we didn't want to spend time for it, but actually it works. So let me do a few conversations with Chatbot. Hello, tell me what kind of data I can ask you for, and now generate the response. So the first type of question we are able to ask the chatbot is first, we are able to ask him about the data that are available. Also, as you can see, there are the profitability data, meeting data, and customer data integrated. Okay, give me skills are available under So again, very simple questions, but what happens here? We are asking the chatbot, we are able to kind of having similar conversation as with humans to actually realize what's possible. Okay, perfect. So now, what customers and obviously these are the fake clients because this is not the production data. We are not the production. This is just all generated by AI. So here are some customers that are available. which client brings give me top three. So now I'm asking about analyzing the profitability of a given product over time, how it changed. So we got the profitability, how it looked in different given month on a year, and also please add the per. Okay, so we can see now by adding something like that, we can see whether it grew, whether it dropped, and so on. So the number of the possibilities are actually really high, and only our imagination of the imagination of our business colleagues is a blocker here, and also a bit the resources, because obviously the scope of our team and different responsibilities are limited. Let me also present the example of this knowledge synthesis, because this is really interesting. Tell me about meetings table. Okay. What do I have the clients here? What meeting with let me check for which clients the meetings are available. Okay, so we have different clients. Tell me which meeting with client had the biggest, let's use fancy word, strategic impact on business. So we are asking for the meeting which has the biggest strategic impact, and this has to be done based on the agenda and also meeting notes. We can also ask, please provide of your choice. And fire. Okay, something is not working. Not sure why. Maybe I will start with this. Yeah, this is the nature of live demos. Sometimes that is not working. Okay, give me all the meetings with client one. Maybe we would be able to run this. Okay, so here are the meetings that were organized with client one, and which of those sometimes we need to rephrase the question to the chatbot to be able to work correctly. So so the most important meeting from the business perspective is the meeting that solidifies formation for a long-term partnership and confirms alignment with the proposed solution. Set the stage for the future collaboration and so it seems that the first one. So what it does, it aggregated the results based on those questions. So now let me go. But maybe one of you would like to ask one question. I guess that's no. So let me go back to the presentation. So it was the demo, and obviously the data which were shown are fictional and entirely generated. And I would say that what we achieved is quite of a success, because we managed to build the thing that has unlimited, I would say, directions or unlimited possibilities to explore and extend it. So for me personally, it was the success. So now let me explain, or let me tell you about a few pillars that that made it possible. So the first thing is automated evaluation, and we were use the LLM as a judge. So what we had to do, we had to prepare some, let's say, knowledge base or some ground truth together with the question and different data. And by applying those questions, the database which has the response the database which has the data that are necessary to generate the response, and also based on those ground truth, which is built of the proper answers, we were be able to evaluate the metrics. The second pillar was the query engine. So what we had to do, we had to experiment with different query engines and compare them. Among those that we compared were Pandas, were Apache Spark, and also DuckDB. We analyzed the pros, cons of both. We tested them in the field, and for our purposes, the best was Panda. Not only because it's fast, lightweight, and works in process, but what most importantly, LLMs generate vanilla SQL more reliable than Spark SQL or Pandas code. Obviously, DuckDB is not that much suited for the big data, for large volumes of data, but in this case, the volume of data wasn't million or billion rows. It was 100,000 at max. And also, there is observability, so the feedback of our users. It gathers interactions with them. It gathers the generated SQL queries, different tool executions, structurized errors, and so on and so on. And by this, we are able to identify the issues with the chatbot. So this was about the present. This is where we are now. And let me tell you now a bit about the future. So we identified the 3 pillars of success in the future. And the first one is making it production ready. The first one is to make it available on production in secure, in trusted, and mature, robust way. So the way where we are not in danger of some security or hacker attacks and so on, or unauthorized data access. Also, we would like it to scale, integrate new domains, new data sources. We want the chatbot to grow across different units, different branches and areas in the company. And finally, we would like integrate new features. So as I mentioned, the goal is to make it a junior colleague for relationship managers. That means that we would integrate the new feature that I will describe in a moment. So the first pillar is making it production ready. What does it mean? It means that we need to handle the security and roles and permissions to handle, again, not authorized control. We need to build proper infrastructure, CI/CD monitoring, and by this make it stable and be able to address the growing usage and so on. Finally, deployment. We want to act quickly and introduce new changes quickly. So we need to automate deployment, monitoring, versioning, and introduce all of those good development practices, which are, of course, already available. But once we will go towards the production, it will become even more important. Also, another thing is conversation history, which is not supported yet. But as you work with different large language models and chatbots, the conversation history having ability to revise the conversation you had is important. So these are the 4 pillars or 4 steps that are necessary to make the chatbot production ready. The future is also about the scaling, and as I mentioned, integrating new domains in new data sources. So it would bring a few challenges because we need to describe them properly, reassess quality, if necessary, improve our engine or some prompts and so on, and also evaluate. We want to evaluate clearly, have some evaluations for every domain, every new data source, because by this we are able to act and react when something wrong happens. And those 3 steps should be continuous and probably never-ending improvement cycle to deliver bigger and bigger value for our business colleagues and help them and make them work easier and also bring more benefits to the clients. So this feedback loop ensures constant learning, quality growth, and better alignment, which nowadays should be the core principles of every AI-based product. Finally, we want to integrate new features. We want to build a true junior colleague or insight mate. So as you remember, I have presented that it's able to generate different answers based on tabular data queries, but with little effort. We have some POC about it. It's also able to generate charts. So based on the questions with a few words in natural language, we are able to ask the chatbot to generate different charts, different reports, and visualize the data. What's more, based on the conversation, different questions, different queries, different charts, the next features we would like to implement is being able to pick the most interesting one for us and generate reports that we can within a minute send to our boss or to the board or to anyone actually that would need those data pre-processed and ready for some presentation or for some analysis. Here there is one more feature that would be important, because this is the debug mode. Because as you probably know, we cannot fully trust the LLM models. The LLM models hallucinate. Sometimes they make errors like human do, but we need to have the possibility to explore what's under the hood. So we would like to provide the debug mode. And by this, we would like to have the reasoning, which is done by the chatbot, the argumentation of different decisions, which it does, and also the SQL queries that are being invoked. And this would be the next stage of the development of this chatbot. And achieving this would be, I would say, quite demanding. And our architecture would need to evolve toward multi-agent model. So now let me explain, or let me briefly touch this topic, and then there will be a small contest and the Q&A session. So multi-agent systems. Okay, so single agent systems have some limitations. So example, when the context or the task is too broad, they are not acting really well, as we do. If single individual person were asked to do the whole development cycle of the project, together with identifying business needs, building code, building infrastructure, presenting it to the business, managing stuff, it's impossible to make it happen. The very same works in agents. So each agent should have its specialization. The second thing, when we have the at least a bit directed flow, we are able to understand what's happened when the agent hands over and hand off the task. And also it ensures given modularity. So we are able to create agents which are focused on the specific function, the specialization thing. So we are able to build an agent which plans, which executes query, which summarizes, which works as a judge and asks for the reiteration and so on. Here are a few setups of this multi-agent architecture. And as you can, so it can be obviously custom, it can be the network setup, but those two, supervisor or hierarchical, are actually the setups similar as we humans work in the companies. So I highly recommend, because actually, surprisingly often, the LLMs are really, the behavior of LLMs are really similar to ways we as a humans act, at least in my opinion. So in the very same agent, in the very same way as we humans organize the agent, or tries to be organized by us, actually by human, but that's quite interesting. And here is the architecture of the final architecture, of the chatbot, with the supervisor agent, with an agent that synthesizes the query, which executes the tasks against some query tool, one or more tasks, right? Again, the query loop is here. Each of those agents has query tool, right? And also is the agent which generates the response. We believe that this setup would increase even further the accuracy and help us to be able to implement new behaviors. So that's it. And now there is a time for contest. I cannot see the chat actually, unfortunately. But the rules are as follows. There will be two questions that I will ask, and the first person who will provide the correct response will get some reward. and I guess someone would contact with you, will ask you on PM, will ask you for email or some contact to hand over this award. Because the one technical questions, the participant cannot speak, right? Oh, you can. Okay. So okay, so I see there is some questions. I will address them in the Q&A session, but let's first do the contest. Here, give me a moment. It will be here. So this is. So the first question is, what is an agent, and what are the three capabilities of an agent? And now I will switch over to the screen, my technical screen, and I'm waiting for the answers. Anyone? No? Okay, yes, I will show the... Okay, Michał? Okay, Michał, that's correct. Okay, so I have two answers. The first answer is by Michał, the second is by Marcin. And what you did, Michał, you described at least the two of the features you asked are referred to multi-agent systems. So actually the Marcin provided a bit better response. So Marcin, in this case, you are the winner. But Michał, please do not. There will be a next question, so get ready. You will have a chance soon. Okay, so the mic, here's the answer I proposed. So it's able to plan, act, reason, and memorize. But again, the answer of Marcin is much, in my opinion, is a bit closer to the truth. So the one more. What is the tool? What tool is the base for our query engine, and why? I will give you a few minutes, a minute or two. Okay, repeating the question and switching to the chat. So what tool is the base for our query engine, and why? Let me now switch to the Yes, Michał. Okay, so Michał, I will address your concern in a minute. So the question is the second question is what tool is no, it's not Databricks. There is animal in its name. Yes, Adrian, exactly. This is DB tool. Michał, in a moment, please. Yes, so Adrian, the reward goes for you. Okay, Michał, you can agree with me because I asked about functions, reasoning, and still the same process of. Yes, that's true. That's true. But this is actually a concrete example. I wanted to ask about some generic things that agent is capable to do. So handing over is the result of handing over to other actions is the result. Handing over is the result of calling a function, for example, right? Or analysis or having some results is the result first of ability to plan, ability to memorize, and also reason. Michał, I will try to because you are let's say really active person here, and I really it's really good. So what I will try to encourage Carolina, sorry, not Carolina, Claudia, to contact you if possible and give you also award for being active. Okay. And now we have the time for questions. Let me switch. Give me a moment. So the answer for the question is exactly like DB because it's fast, lightweight, in-process SQL engine. And now we do have time for the question and the ability to win an award. So I'm waiting for any questions that you have. I will, because I cannot. So now we have the time for questions. This, like this. And now I'm able to switch over to the.
You can ask questions for Wojtek now. And remember that we have one more prize for the best question, right?
Actually, there is a few questions in the chat, so maybe I will answer them. The first question is from Piotr, and it refers to the security design. And if we have any worry if given user cannot access to given piece of data? And this is excellent question. And yes, that's good concern. And we aim to address it on the 3 levels. The first level is so-called, let's say, access to the master user. That means that the very first implementation would work for any user who would have the access to the data, to the chatbot would have the access to the all data. So we will have just simply switch off, switch on. So this is the first phase. The second phase, we would like to make this granularity all on tabular level. So some users would have the access to the entire tables. The third phase, the most demanding one, is about having access to the particular rows of columns, and access to those data will be granted by actually some product owners or some people who are responsible for the group CRM with which the chatbot will be integrated first. But the question and the concern is, Piotr, really good. Thank you for the question. This is you have the really good intuition. Okay. Second question from Piotr. How do we validate the results? As I mentioned, we have the LLM as a judge. We have the table with different records. We have the question and the correct answer, which the question which the answer for given question should be returned by the against those particular data sets. So what we are checking the facts, whether the facts in the response match or not. Michał, how does the LLM know which table of columns used in the analysis? You mentioned some metadata. Okay. It's kind of data dictionary. Actually, this is the description of the table. So some business description of the data. So it describes data type. It describes the business meaning of table, but not only the table, each of the fields. And by this and by proper instructions, the agent is surprisingly good able to generate the proper SQL. However, it also depends on the input. So based on it also depends on the prompt, because the more specific prompt, obviously the better results. Martin, when exactly is the chatbot implemented? Is it available somewhere on the website? Not yet. It will be for our internal use. So users of Copernicus GCRM would use it, but we hope that we will be able to scale to the also other areas, like maybe capital markets, like maybe some trading and many more. Does the tool have any type of access control RLS implemented so that users can see Marvini? Not yet, but as I mentioned, this is the really good concern, and one of the first and the most important step. Once we will go to the production and some serious testing, which are, let's say, near production, we would implement it. So again, really good concern. Maciek, I'm way too late for this meeting, but the topic is exciting. It's going. Yes, the recording will be available. And then we have the question: how is context multiple queries? For example, if user asks follow-up referring to the. So Martin, again, good question. It is done by the internal implementation of the LLMs. So what we are using the frameworks, and they have. So implementation of LLM is that it's able to gather the context, and what's under the hood happen. You are sharing the whole history with them, whole history of the conversation, and by this the model is the proper training and the proper instructions, proper context, the model is able to identify what are you asking for. And of course, there might be any issues if context is either not specific enough or the context is quite long. Different models have tendency to get lost. But for, let's say, our purposes, it works quite good. How do you handle ambiguous questions from users? Does the chatbot? Okay, and Kacper, really good question. Yes, that's the concern of us. We want. This is not implemented yet. This is in our backlog, but again, we consider either do two things. The first is to some query filtering, query evaluation agent to work as a proxy. This is one of the possible solutions, and check how it works, or we can do it on the prompt level. Paweł, for now it works with the catch snapshots. In the production environment, those data will be refreshed with daily grain, but it's not a problem to make it work in real-time data. It's just the matter of technical implementation. Kuba, really good question. Authentication again would have two phases. I believe I described them because there were 2 or 3 already questions about security, access management, authentication, authorization. Pat, as I mentioned during the presentation, because the question from Pat is, do you envision integrating this agent with other tools like Power BI or Jira to automate reporting workflows? So Pat, the answer is we hope. But again, we are limited to the resources. We cannot do everything at once. Now we are focusing of making actually chatbots valuable to the business and kind of meeting the business needs. Are query logs or model prompts stored for auditing and monitoring? Really good question. For now, these are rather stored for monitoring. But I guess these also can be used as in the auditing purposes. I was seeing that Adrian is writing something. Oh, Adrian, that's really good question. To be honest, we just explored the multi-agent systems. We didn't, and obviously we had some problems with the task routing. What helps here is at least from my intuition and my current knowledge is the proper prompt and proper description of the task. And also what you can do, you can specify or limit the supervisor to hand over the given task to particular set of agents. So not to all. So this could be done on the prompt level, but also on the code level when the scope of the agents is very limited. Again, very good question. So I guess that's it. Let me choose the winner now. Adrian, you do have already. So I guess the winner would be Michał, who was very active in the Q&A session, so in the context, and I'm pretty sure he deserved for awards. So the winners are Michał, Adrian, and if I remember correctly, Marcin. So now, Unfortunately, I need to drop off for another presentation, but thank you all for your time, for attendance. If you have any question, you can contact me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to help. And again, one more time, thank you very much.
Thank you, Wojtek, for the interesting presentation, and thank you, all of you, for joining us today. And I would like to invite you to the next Meet Raiff, which will take place this November. And information about the exact date will be shared soon at our social media channels on Sages or Raiffeisen Tech. So I think we can end now our webinar. Thanks again. It was great to have you today.